I am Klauth, Wyrm of the North, oldest of the dragons, greatest of the mortal creatures who walk the realms. My power and my knowledge know no bounds.
Hello, my name is Kate, and to start the year of a dragon, I'm gonna tell you about the biggest and the oldest dragon in Faerun. Klauth, the ancient red dragon who is known by many other names such as Old Snarl, Dragon of the North, Wyrm of the North. He is the oldest dragon in Faerun who didn't turn into dracolich but continued to thrive, absorbing other red dragons' essence to prolong own life. Legends speak of his viciousness, his unmatched combat prowess, and a cleverness that kept him alive through countless battles and encounters. Klauth can be met in various old D&D materials, full-scale adventures, and of course Neverwinter Nights computer game. He's a living legend, comparable to the forces of nature, someone who cannot be imagined to be defeated or dead. But how did he become like that? What's his story? Let's figure it out. It is not known what year Klauth was born, however, being labeled as the oldest living dragon in Faerun, that makes him older than gold dragon Palarandusk, who was already a mature adult dragon pre-Netheril era, which makes his birthday somewhere before 4200 DR, so he could be over 5000 years old. As all red dragons, Klauth grew a brutal and ferocious creature. Growing in the age of the Netheril Empire, he watched the appearance and disappearance of Netherese scrolls, all enclaves, political games, the appearance of mythalaries and magic items, rise and fall of the Empire and all other events. Maybe he even has some of the Netherese scrolls in his hoard. Who knows? Despite being the biggest dragon on Faerun, Klauth is said to be quite agile, very versatile in stealth, subtle moves, and going unseen. He always preferred a crushing sudden attack or sneaking onto the enemy in the night to eliminate them with one true strike. Rather than succumbing to rage and boldly attacking his foes in straightforward rush, he uses hit and run tactics, dealing as much damage as possible to the enemy while he is still surprised, and this works perfectly well, and I will explain in a couple of moments why I think so. Seeing too much and living too long was a coin of two sides for Klauth. He is extremely wise and always in control, not to be provoked to do silly rush mistakes, but extremely paranoid. And his paranoia grew to legendary proportions. He spent most of his days scrying everything around him, tracking all targets in his domain. He constantly fears that other dragons will rise to power and kill those who he considers a threat. And when it comes to confrontation, he deals with the problem strategically, preparing for swift, calculated attacks, relying on his intelligence, analysis, and research. He managed to collect lots of magical artifacts through his lifetime, some of which he uses in battle. The most favorite are 6 powerful wands which he learned to control telepathically when they are tied to his wings. Though Klauth was quite nerfed from old editions to more than 5th edition, so I would describe below the old powerful version, since I believe it's more appropriate for this kind of dragon. On the left wing, it is said he carries Wand of Ice Storm, Wand of Fireballs, and a Wand of Polymorph. On the right wing, he carries Wand of Hold Person, Wand of Lightning Bolt, and Wand of Dispel Magic. In 5th edition, however, it was reduced to 2, Fireball and Lightning Bolt. He has learned how to activate 3 of his magic items simultaneously through the powerful Netherese transmutation spell, allowing her Triptych, which he stole from Imrith, the blue dragon from Anorok Desert.
I am old as time itself. The infinite wisdom of eternity is mine to command. Your name and your deeds are known to me, and I shall remember them long after history has forgotten you.
Through years, he experimented on how to prolong own existence. Based on early editions of D&D, he was a very dangerous high-level caster with Wish in his possession. But on a dragon timescale, I think it's a temporary solution to prolong own life. Before one day, he obtained another powerful Netherese spell, Tellar's Argonol. which allowed him to consume red dragon eggs to prolong his existence and give him a boost to power. And that's where I would like to get back to why hit and run tactics is the best tactics for Klauth. So first of all, he can enhance himself for a short time, so you need to spend time wisely. Secondly, can you imagine how much energy you consume when you're a colossal sized dragon? I think it just takes too much out of him, so one precise devastating burst is the most effective way. And lastly, with the axe, you can heal much faster than your opponent, recover, and strike back on still wounded foe. Also, what I would like to point out before we move forward is that no source mentioned that he ever mated, but I think I can assume that he did, because given he had been always hunting for red dragon eggs, it would be a zero risk investment for him. Imagine you mate, you scry for the mother, you know that she will have eggs, you come and take them in a while after. Profit! History suggests sometimes he engaged dragons for a short collaboration rather than fight. In 1339, when the dragon Aglari Rose flew over Klauth's domain, he didn't kill her on sight, but joined her in the orc hunt. Yet, in 1360 he was attacked by two white dragons, Edi Haikloarara and Rusandrara, and a blue dragon, Edithkring, who decided to get rid of Klauth. The battle stretched over the northern lands from the ice flow to the Fell Pass, with Klauth coming out victorious, but gravely wounded. He hid in the mountains of Ravenrock to lick his wounds, which eventually became his new and current lair, lately renamed in Clouthenvale. In 1372, we also meet Klauth in Neverwinter Nights video game, where he hides under Moonwood Forest and looks for ways to prolong his own existence through dragon eggs or transferring his mind and soul to a young dragon body, yet he failed to succeed. After that, in 1374, Klauth also sneaked into the cavern of Mist Dragon Narnardinath, near the Iceflow Cavern, aiming to steal his hoard and slay the dragon. However, the attack failed. In order to escape, Klauth destroyed the cave and collapsed ceiling killed the enemy. 5 years later, in 1379, during the events of Draco Rage, Klauth decided to attack Mirabar, but was confronted by a crystal dragon, Sarun Dalach Gloktor. Klauth dealt a lot of damage to the good dragon, but was fended off. Having mastered the self-control of 1,000 of years, Klauth resisted the effects of Draco Rage, but the dragon Saris Dala Glostor got crazy and killed all the dwarves who were helping her to defend Mirabar. Taraun Lamor Lamurla, the Song Dragon, was another target of Klauth. He scried on her, suspecting her of power to turn off the words of Waterdeep against dragons. That's why he wanted to kill her and then take over the city. The last known appearance of Klauth dates to 1492, when old Snarl uses the cult of the dragon who wanted to turn him into dracolich to attempt to destroy dragons' old enemies, giants. However, his attempts failed to succeed. So, is he a strong character? Yes, from both lore and monster perspective. He is said to be the oldest and the largest dragon in Faerun, who possesses vast knowledge of the world, Netherese spells, always scries on enemies and therefore prepared, and has dragon eggs boost, and always approaches battle with intelligence. Though in all sources it is said that he is super stealthy, like a cat, crawling near enemies, his dexterity in both old and modern editions is 10, with additional +7 on stealth, which means he must be extremely lucky on rolling 20, because the standard perception check for adult dragons is at least 26. From technical perspective, in 5th edition he's a Gargantuan dragon with challenge rating 25, which is nerfed from early editions where he was a colossal dragon. He has over 5000 HP, possesses many magical items, and can use wands, and potentially can use up to 3 magic items in one round. And as a DM, you can easily make those all fireball wands. Why not? And now, a bit of DM tips on how to play him. First of all, remember when you put Klauth in your campaign that he is a paranoid, old, evil red dragon who always treats anyone as his enemy and will eventually kill the adventurers when they lose value to him. Secondly, he can be treated as an all-knowing oracle. If nobody knows what to do or where to go, Klauth knows, but for a price. If I would have DM'd it, I would have allowed my party to ask any questions they want or ask for any serious help they need, but in return, Klauth would have simply eaten one of the adventurer, removing the character from the game completely. And lastly, if your party would ever wanted to fight the dragon, I suggest to equip him with best equipment and magical items possibly, and ambush the party during their long rest in Klauth and Vale, because that's what Klauth would do. And that's all on the almighty oldest living dragon Klauth, Wyrm of the North, and I'm more than sure that we will hear and see him again in the future, trying to achieve his goals through adventures or evil cults. If you'd like the lore, please press like and subscribe button, and tell me in the comments below who else you would like to hear about, and see you next time.